August 5, 2025. Out of nowhere, Donald Trump, back in the White House, drops a bombshell on Truth Social. A 50% tariff on a slew of Indian goods. 50%. That's not a tariff, that's an economic earthquake. The shockwaves hit Wall Street, Dalal Street, and every global capital. Trump's move wasn't some quiet policy tweak, it was primetime political theater. He targeted India, America's key partner against China, and threw the global markets into chaos. The official reason? National security and what Trump called energy hypocrisy. The White House accused India of undermining Western sanctions on Russia by buying cheap Russian oil. The message, pick a side or pay a premium. India was furious, calling the move unfair. Europe called it reckless. Imagine trying to put out a fire, and your neighbor pours gasoline on it just to make a point. Classic Trump, go big, go loud, and let the world deal with the fallout. The consequences? Just beginning, the old rules of global trade out the window. The world was on notice. How did we get here? It starts with India's oil strategy. After the West sanctioned Russia, Russian oil went on clearance. India, which imports 85% of its oil, couldn't resist. India bought Russian crude openly, arguing it was essential for its economy and even helped stabilize global prices. But here's the twist. India's refineries turned cheap Russian oil into gasoline and diesel, then sold some of it, sometimes even to Europe. It was energy arbitrage, and India profited big. For the U.S., this was infuriating. The West tried to choke off Russia's war funds, but India kept the money flowing. Trump saw India as playing both sides, enjoying U.S. security while funding America's adversary. He called it energy hypocrisy and decided to slam the door shut. India argued it was survival, not sabotage. But to Trump, it was a loophole that needed closing. Fast. The stage was set for confrontation. The world watched as two giants collided, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Trump's response? A sledgehammer 50% tariffs on Indian exports, textiles, auto parts, even software. The goal: make India's Russian oil profits so painful they'd have to reconsider. Trump bet India needed the U.S. market more than cheap oil. India hit back, calling out Western hypocrisy. Europe still bought Russian gas and the U.S. traded with Russia in some sectors. Why single out India? For them, it was about survival, not defiance. Trump's playbook: create chaos, then use it as leverage. But this time, the collateral damage was huge. American businesses faced soaring costs, and the U.S.-India partnership was suddenly at risk. The world saw echoes of Trump's old trade war with China, but this time the stakes were even higher. India's foreign minister declared, "We'll always act in our national interest." The tariff wasn't just punishment, it was a test of wills. Would India fold or fight back? The answer would shape the future of global alliances. The U.S. and India, once close, now stood on the edge of a trade war. The world held its breath. The next move could change everything. The fallout was instant. Indian and U.S. markets tumbled. The Kremlin cheered India on. Europe worried about global instability. China saw a chance to pull India closer. Will India back down? Unlikely. National pride runs deep. Retaliation is almost certain. Tariffs on U.S. goods, a tit-for-tat spiral. The U.S.-India relationship, decades in the making, now hangs by a thread. The bigger question: does punishing India for Russian oil risk losing a crucial ally to China and Russia? The Quad alliance, built to counter China, could unravel. Trump's tariff bomb shattered the fragile peace in global trade. Will it force India to change or backfire, creating new alliances against the U.S.? The world is watching, uncertain and anxious. One thing's clear: global trade just got a lot more dangerous. Buckle up.